G'day guys, Dr. Cam McDonald here, accredited exercise physiologist and accredited practicing dietitian and genetics and personalized health enthusiast. I've been working with this awesome program or tool in my kit called ph360 for the last 3 years. I'm actually now running a bunch of seminars on how you can get the most out of this tool in your practice, and we get a whole lot of questions, particularly from our clients. We've seen sort of 200 to 300 clients with this tool now, and getting them understanding their genetics and what their body needs, not just what their DNA needs, but what environmental things need to be changed to make their DNA as happy as possible. After all of that experience, there have been a number of questions, and I wanted to answer some of them today about what is pH360 and what can it do for you. Ultimately, pH360 is a tool that measures your genes, and it also measures how the environment has affected your genes, and that's called epigenetics, all of the things around your genes that are influencing how they operate. Probably one of the biggest questions that we get is how do we actually measure your DNA? Do you take a sample? How is it done? The most revolutionary part of pH360 is you don't actually need a DNA sample to measure your genes. There are some of the smartest minds in the world working on personalized health, and over the last decade they've developed some incredible algorithms and equations that, if you combine the combination of a few key things, you actually end up with a whole map of your DNA, just from things that relate to, for example, anthropometry is one. We know that the size of your skeleton, where you store fat by measuring girths around your trunk, even understanding how thick your joints are, how long your finger is compared to your palm. All of these things have to do with how you developed in the womb as an embryo, and that actually tells us what genes were turned on, what hormones were high, and in fact what your DNA was back then, which then allows us to bring that forward and say, okay, so you've got these features now, and these correlate to these genes back in the embryo time. So we then cross-correlate that with a really extensive questionnaire. So we look at things like hair, color, quality, how many gray hairs you've got, where you're growing your hair, even the type and color of skin, the quality of your skin. Do you have wrinkles? Do you have flakiness of your skin? And then even into things like your fingernails and the amount of exercise that you're doing and your genetic heritage, your family ancestry, which we know is heavily related to your genetics. It even goes into things like the exposure of the environment, and what you've been exposed to from a travel point of view, and how that's going to influence different people's genes. So not only do we get this amazing stuff about your DNA, but we also get this information about how your DNA has been affected. The equations are above my head. It's been developed by a team of at least 12 scientists with literally tens of other scientists who have been contributing to this program over the last 10 to 12 years. And it's been absolutely fascinating to learn more about it over in Italy, where we recently had a retreat for medical professionals, and using this platform on a very high level. So some of the other questions that we get about pH360 is, what can it do for me? Well, ultimately, pH360, with all of this information, will understand what hormones are a little bit out of whack, what hormones are good, and then it helps you understand not only your food, like the exact foods that you need down to the type of vegetable, but it also tells us about your muscle fiber type and your preferred exercise modality. It also tells us about timing of all those things. So it tells us what time we need to go to sleep, what time we should wake up, when we should be having our biggest meal, when we should be having our smallest meal, what food we should be having at those meals, when we should be exercising around that, what kind of social environment should we be in, and also how does the internal workings of our brain actually happen. Different people have different thoughts for different reasons, and a lot of these are genetically driven, and then they get overlaid by our experiences. But understanding the genes in your brain and the chemistry of your brain that dominates proceedings, we can get an understanding of your brain even faster, and that ties into the type of food and the exercise that you need as well, and the things that's going to relax you the most. So this is definitely for people who are wanting the best answer in their health, the people who think that there must be something connecting the different elements of the health as well. That our science up until this point has been very much separated into, nutrition's a separate topic, exercise is a separate topic, psychology is a separate topic. the future of health and the future of ph360 is literally all of these things are related, and for the first time we've actually got a platform that is able to bring these things down to the genetic level and show the similarities and the patterns associated with all of these different aspects of our environment and how it affects our health. It is such a cool program. If you're wanting more information, just check out some of the links below, but otherwise you can get in touch with us using those same links, and we really look forward to hearing from you and also hearing about your stories that once you're on ph360, we love hearing about how people really progress and improve their life from it. So hopefully we'll speak to you soon.